Welcome back, everyone. Get ready for another deep dive this time. We're tapping into the power of music to explore those raw, universal feelings we all experience. We asked you to send in excerpts of Swedish song lyrics, and wow, did you deliver?
Yeah. And it's amazing how these lyrics, even without understanding the language, manage to hit us right in the feels.
Absolutely. It's like they cut straight to the heart of what it means to be human.
Exactly.
So we're diving deep into themes of longing, heartbreak, that search for meaning, all those big, messy emotions.
It's like a plan.
And one of the things that jumped out right away from the lyrics you sent, this push and pull between our desire to connect with nature and, well, the allure of technology.
Yeah, that tension definitely comes through.
Like there's this one line, glöm bort att leva, livet väntar utanför, which translates to, forget about living, life is waiting outside.
It's like a wake-up call, isn't it?
Totally. Almost like a challenge. Put down the phone, step away from the screen.
Timmarna de går, serier som aldrig slutar, men vad är det för? Kanske dags att resa mig, ta en promenad. Möta livet utanför, det är ju faktiskt bra. Livet väntar utanför, det finns så mycket mer.
Right, and remember what it feels like to actually live, to experience the world firsthand.
Yes. And it makes you wonder, is this a particularly Swedish thing? This call to disconnect and reconnect with nature?
That's an interesting thought. I mean, Sweden does have a strong cultural emphasis on nature, on spending time outdoors.
True.
And that idea of allemansrätten, the freedom to roam, it's like this deep-rooted belief that everyone has the right to access and enjoy nature.
Right. So maybe those values are reflected in their songwriting, too.
Could be. Like, take this excerpt. Släpp skärmen, kom nu, which means drop the screen, come now.
Whoa. There's an urgency there.
Right. Like nature itself is beckoning.
It's like the lyrics are reminding us that true joy, true connection often comes from those simple, tangible experiences.
Yeah, feeling the sun on your skin, the wind in your hair, stuff you can't replicate through a screen.
Exactly. Okay, but speaking of things we don't want to miss, can we talk about the love stories woven through these lyrics?
Oh yeah, let's go there.
Because we see the whole spectrum, from those intense, all-consuming beginnings.
The kind of love that makes you want to shout it from the rooftops.
Yes, like this line, du och, of alt som fans, meaning you and I, out of everything that existed.
På mina fingrar lyfter dig upp mot himlens tak, får dig att berusas av vind, av land, av hav.
Wow.
It's so powerful.
It really is.
But then, just as quickly, the lyrics can shift to this raw, visceral pain of heartbreak.
Yeah, and that's the thing about love, isn't it? The higher you soar, the further you fall.
It's true, and these lyrics don't shy away from that pain. Like this one, it really hit me. Svår någonsin kunna förstå varför du aldrig sa varför du gått, which means, how will I ever be able to understand why you never said why you left?
Vi delade en ömhet som var underbar, men var bara för en dag.
Oof, that's a gut punch.
Right.
It's that feeling of being completely blindsided, left reeling with all these unanswered questions.
Exactly. And it makes you realize heartbreak might be universal, but it's also so deeply personal.
Absolutely. It really is. And, even though heartbreak can feel so isolating, there's something about these lyrics that reminds us we're not alone in that pain.
It's like a shared human experience.
Totally. And I think that's part of what makes these songs so powerful, They give voice to those emotions that we often struggle to put into words ourselves.
It's like they get us.
Exactly.
And what I find interesting, even in the midst of this heartbreak, there's still this glimmer of hope.
It's true. A resilience.
Yeah.
Like love might pain, but it doesn't have to break you.
Right. There's this one excerpt. Jag kan känna lust och glädje. Lust att leva livet här och nu.
Kan känna lust och glädje, känna att det finns ett värde. Nu känner jag lust att leva livet här och nu.
Meaning, I can feel desire and joy, a desire to live life here and now. It's like choosing to embrace life again.
Finding joy in the present moment, even if the past still stings a little.
Exactly. And you know what else I noticed? This theme of finding solace, finding renewal. often in nature.
Oh, absolutely. Nature becomes this source of healing, a place to reconnect with yourself.
Totally. And it makes you wonder, is this a Swedish thing too? This connection between healing and nature.
You know, I think there's something to that
Yeah.
because their cultural appreciation for nature runs so deep. Like we were talking about before, Allemansrätten, the freedom to roam.
Right.
It's like built into their way of life, this respect for the environment, this understanding that we're all connected to it.
That's fascinating.
And I think we see that reflected in these lyrics too. Like nature is not just a pretty backdrop. It's this powerful force that can soothe and restore us.
It's like that line we talked about earlier, sunshine, wind in your hair, gentle peace of the waves.
Beautiful imagery, right?
It's like nature itself is offering a comforting embrace.
Totally. And what's also interesting, this search for meaning and connection, it's not limited to romantic love.
You're right. It goes beyond that.
Like there's this yearning for something deeper, something more expansive.
Longing to belong.
Exactly. And the lyrics explore this in so many beautiful ways, right? The love between friends, the feeling of being part of something bigger than yourself.
There's this one line that really resonated with me. Jag vill finna en vän, vi två en dag, meaning, I want to find a friend, the two of us, one day. It's so simple, but so profound.
Right. It's that deep human need for companionship, for someone to share life's journey with.
Someone to walk alongside you.
Yeah. And, you know, this desire for connection, it's not just about filling a void. It's about the transformative power of relationships.
How so?
Well, think about the line. Du visad mig ljuset med allt mörker, meaning you showed me the light in the middle of all the darkness.
Wow.
It speaks to how the right person can illuminate our path, help us find our way through difficult times.
It's like that one friend, that confidant who just gets you.
Exactly. They make all the difference.
They really do. Okay, but speaking of the complexities of love, there's this other interesting theme that pops up. The sense of déjà vu in relationships, like we're caught in a loop.
Oh, yeah, that feeling of repeating past mistakes, even when you know better.
Right. It's explicitly stated in one song, Inte nu again.
Historien börjar om igen. Allting känns bekant som déjà vu. Jag har varit här förut, ser du, och nu är jag här igen. Jag trodde man har lärt sig av misstag gjorda förr, men för inte nu. Och allting händer igen. Se upp, annars bilar flyger.
With the line, Historien börjar om igen. Jag har varit här förut och nu är jag här om igen. Meaning, the story begins again. I've been here before and now I'm here again. It's like the songwriter is aware of this cycle, but powerless to break free.
And that feeling of being stuck, I think it's something so many people can relate to, right?
Absolutely.
We carry the imprints of our past relationships with us, the good and the bad.
It's true. And those imprints, they can definitely shape how we approach love in the present.
They really can.
And it makes you wonder how much of our experience of love is actually shaped by our past.
Right. Are we destined to repeat those old patterns?
Or can we break free?
Big questions. Big questions. And, you know, maybe that's part of what these lyrics are wrestling with.
I can see that.
Trying to make sense of these patterns, these cycles we find ourselves in.
Right.
And there's this one song, För Alltid och För Nu, which translates to forever and for now.
När jag måste lämna dig bakom mig för att se framåt igen. Det var en tid av skratt att lära känna dig. Jag fann i dig så mycket mer som jag vill ha.
That really digs into that. There's a line in there that really struck me. Tiden är här när jag måste lämna dig. Lämna dig bakom mig för att se framåt igen, meaning the time has come when I must leave you behind me to look forward again. It's like acknowledging that sometimes letting go is the only way to move on.
Even when it's painful.
Exactly. Even when it hurts.
It's like sometimes those past relationships, they can hold us back if we let them.
They can. But letting go, as hard as it is, it can also be this act of self-love. You know?
Yeah, I get that. Okay, so we've talked about longing, heartbreak, the complexities of love. But there's another dimension to these lyrics we haven't touched on yet.
And what's that?
That raw, sensual energy.
Oh, yeah. They definitely don't shy away from desire.
Not at all. Songs like Carlican's Love or Love's Praise, they embrace that feeling of being swept away by passion.
It's intoxicating, isn't it?
Totally. And the imagery, it's so vivid. Like this line, Hennes läppar röda, fyllda av liv. Her lips are red, full of life.
Hennes läppar är röda, fyllda av liv. Rösten mjuka likt druvor till vin. Rösten gungar i takt och melodi.
Or this one. Skålen är vacker. Kärleken hit. The bowl is beautiful. The love is hot.
It's like you can feel the heat radiating off those words.
Totally. And they weave in these metaphors from nature too. Sol i skog of plowing. The sun in the forest and meadows.
It's like nature itself becomes this reflection of their passion.
Right. But then there's this interesting shift, almost a tinge of melancholy.
Yeah, it's like a recognition that this passionate love, it might exist more in the realm of fantasy than reality.
There's this one line that really captures that. Men allt en dröm om verklighet, saknaden om stor längtande. But everything is a dream, a reality, the longing, a great yearning.
It's bittersweet, isn't it?
Totally. Like sometimes the things we desire most intensely are the hardest to grasp.
It's true. And yet that longing, that unfulfilled desire, it can be a powerful force in our lives.
How so?
Well, think about it. How much art, how much music, how much literature is born out of that yearning for something just out of reach.
That's a good point.
Like unrequited love, it might bring pain, but it can also be this incredible source of inspiration.
Right, like it fuels our creativity. Okay, and speaking of longing, there's this other song, Fort Langton, Still Longing.
Det finns en längtan i mitt bröst. Jag hör tydligt min inre röst. Jag finner svaren lika klart. En längtan till ett liv underbart. Det finns en oro i mitt bröst.
That captures that feeling of being torn between wanting to move on, but still being tethered to the past.
Oh yeah, that's a tough one.
It is. This line, it really got to me. Det finns en längtan i mitt bröst. Jag har tystnat min röst. There's a longing in my chest. I've silenced my inner voice.
It's like they're trying to suppress their feelings, but the longing, it just won't be ignored.
Exactly. And it made me think, sometimes we don't get to choose who or what we long for.
That's true. Sometimes all we can do is allow ourselves to feel it.
Yeah. Okay, but even in the midst of this unresolved longing, there's still this glimmer of hope, you know?
I see that.
This determination to embrace life. Like in the last line, för jag vill leva, jag vill andas, jag vill älska livet här med dig. Because I want to live, I want to breathe, I want to love life here with you. It's like a choice, right? To keep your heart open, even when it hurts.
It is. And I love how the lyrics leave the you open to interpretation.
How so?
Well, it could be a lover, a friend, a connection with nature, even with yourself. It's about finding those sources of love and fulfillment wherever you can.
That's a really powerful message.
It is. And, you know, I think that's what's so amazing about music, about these lyrics in particular.
What do you mean?
They remind us that even when we feel lost, heartbroken, alone, we're not.
It's that shared human experience again.
Exactly. We're all in this together, navigating the highs and lows of life, love, and everything in between.
So beautifully said. And on that note, we've come to the end of our deep dive into Swedish songwriting.
Time flies when you're dissecting feelings, huh?
It really does. But as always, we want to hear from you.
Yes. What resonated with you?
Which lyrics spoke to your soul?
And how can you bring these insights, these reflections on love, longing, and connection into your own life?
Until next time, keep exploring, keep feeling, and keep seeking those moments of wonder that make life so incredibly meaningful.
Jag vill leva, jag vill andas. Jag vill älska livet här med dig. Jag vill skratta, jag vill dansa. Jag vill älska livet.